Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another interesting knife review slash knife overview to share with you guys. This is the Tristate Tristache V2. This particular one is the dark mode edition sold on BladeBinge. I'll actually link all of the different versions. There's a few. There's a regular titanium one, and there's a G10 one, and then there's also it's Ultim, but it is literally listed as full piss on the BladeBinge website, which I am sure was Tristate insisting that they word it that way. I will link all the different variations down below. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Thanks to BladeBinge for getting this into me. Make sure your notifications are turned on for the Metal Complex YouTube channel. This is the Tristate Tristache, but it's a variation of the knife that is built in a way that allows them to get the price down into a territory that's more affordable for a lot of people. The G10 and full piss options are $139, and the full titanium versions, which what you're seeing right here, is $149. And the blade is 154 cm, and it's sporting a liner lock, which is different than the blade material and the locking mechanism for the original. And while this won't be to everybody's preference, I think what a lot of people need to understand is this is a popular design, and he's clearly trying to cater to as many different tiers of budget as he can. It wouldn't surprise me if eventually he did an even less expensive one, but I don't want to put any pressure on him there, but I think it's a good idea. This is a knife that a lot of people want. He's a popular guy, and it's a good design. So it's always good to make sure that more people can afford it. It's very, very similar to the original. So I'm going to kind of speed through things here a little bit. The end result here, the TLDR is this is a really, really good knife. Overall length of this guy is coming in at 8 inches. Blade length is just a little over 3.5, and cutting edge is about 3 on the dot. Let's do some size comparisons. Any custom scales that you find in this section can be found down in the description under Original Goat and others. Up against the 8010 and my own Excalibur, you can see here it's a little shorter, but not by much. I think people will point out like, oh, he used the exact same diamond texturing as the copy. This diamond texturing is, there were 1,000 bajillion knives that utilized this diamond texturing before I used it, right? A lot of people, more sane and rational people will point out that there's a lot of similarities in the design, and it's as I stated here, that it's not that, this is a copy of mine or vice versa. It's that he and I clearly have a lot of the same preferences. In fact, I would venture to guess that many of us in this community, whether we're content creators, knife collectors, whoever, just people in the community, a lot of us just have the same preferences. In terms of deployment, the opening hole is very, very popular. Your general ergonomic lines for a handle, this is pretty much just like knife handle throughout time. Like it works because we have to grip it with a human hand and not an octopus tentacle or robot claw or whatever. No, it's a human hand, right? So this kind of works, this profile in general. I think pivot colors look nice. My preference is to deploy a knife with either a thumb stud or the opening hole. I opted for both here, right? And then black is also a popular color. So yeah, I think there are going to be similarities, but it's also, I think we should, point out that while there are similarities, there are clearly a lot of differences. His is shorter. It's also a different blade shape, and the way that it feels and operates, is kind of the same, but kind of not, right? This, if you were to be blindfolded and pick up my knife and pick up his knife, they do feel different. His also has a front flipper. So I think that the cost also, like the one that I currently have available, it's way more expensive. This is going to be a much more preferential option for so many people, and for good reason. I've here lately found myself carrying this knife more than I have carried my own knife. I just really like his design, and it's really good. And like I said, we share a lot of the same preferences. So, but anyways, let's go back to the rest of the size comparisons here. Up against the Spyderco PM2 and the Spyderco Para 3, which is gone. Is the Para 3 gone? The Para 3's on vacation? No. Calling you in. Here we go. A little bit shorter than the PM2, definitely a little bigger than the Spyderco Para 3. Let's put it up against the Benchmade Group Tillionaire, in this case the Ritter Hogue and the Hogue Deca. How is the action on this knife? It's very good. I would expect no less. It's very clicky. The detent works perfectly. You've got plenty of access to the opening hole. We don't need any more of a cutout here, and the front flipper works great. I can even use the side. That was a bad one, but I can even use the side of my index finger to deploy it. So that's awesome. This is also a knife that has ambidextrous mounting positions for the pocket clip, which is great. It should have that, and it does. So left-handed people, you have almost the same experience, minus having to manipulate a right-handed liner lock, which, as you can see, I'm a right-handed person. It's no problem there. So that's awesome. I like that he's catering to left-handed people as well. Let's go ahead and do carry profile thickness up against the Spyderco Para 3. It's about the same thickness, length, and height up against the PM2 and Para 3. This is a very easily pocketable item. I don't have a problem with it. It might be slightly big for some people. It's not too big for me. If the titanium version is too heavy, obviously you can go with PP Ultim or G10. I guess I'm just leaning into that joke there. That's fine. Total height, it's not even as tall as the Para 3, and it's only slightly longer. It's really not that big of an object. Titanium and 154 cm, I thought an interesting note that his HRC range on the 154 is 61 to 62, which is definitely higher than we typically see for 154 cm. So that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and weigh it. We do have steel for the liner here, but it is milled out titanium. And then in this case, we have the nice anodized titanium backspacer. But it is, to my knowledge, the backspacer is also titanium. We can definitely test that here. Yeah. So titanium backspacer, and then we have a steel pocket clip, steel blade, steel liner lock, titanium scales, 4.4 ounces. Your G10 and PP scales will definitely weigh a little bit less. Let's go ahead and do a hardware check. I'll get out my tools as per usual. My tools are very inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them right down in the section of my description that talks about the tools I use on this channel. I believe that pivot is a T8. I will be very disappointed if it is not. That would be a silly thing for him to do. Almost certain that his body screws are T8 as well. Yeah, pocket clip screws are T6, which is completely fine. Very, very simple construction. That's how it should be. As long as you have the right tools for the job, you should be good to go. Let's go ahead and measure the blade stock thickness here real quick. Blade stock, I'm going to guess that that's 120, perhaps 115. 120 thousandths. There you go. All right, meat and potatoes time. Ergonomics, extremely good. Extremely good. Doesn't surprise me. Huge choil area, great choked up, great choked back. Pocket clip is minimal. Has a high bill, but I'd be lying if I said that was like, oh, bothersome, oh, bother. No, I'd be lying if I said that it really bothered me. I'd hardly noticed it at all. The jimping extends out here and is actually functional. It actually allows you to grip, which is great. This is hollow ground, and it is very, very thin behind the edge. It is an excellent, excellent slicer. Very, very nice, and you can get your finger up here to do the draw cuts. This is my type of knife. It's big enough to be full size. Even though aesthetically, this isn't my favorite blade shape, it is probably my favorite in terms of utility. Just having the tip of it down here, it's easier for me to do draw and shaping cuts while still being able to slice. This is the type of blade that is the most beneficial to somebody like me, a casual knife user. And it looks super cool. I think this is probably my favorite aesthetic. The other aesthetics are really, really cool. But this dark mode edition is definitely my favorite. I love the diamond texturing for obvious reasons. That's my favorite texturing. I think it looks really, really good and offers functional gripitude, or whatever you want to call it there. The opening hole is oval shaped, just more of a traditional oval than this is more of like a Strider oval. I don't know if you've ever noticed the difference in the ovals with various knives. The pivot collar looks really, really nice. There's not a lot. In fact, there's nothing really drawing your attention away from the design, which I think looks good, but is geared more towards functionality than anything else, and it does exactly that. There is no billboarding anywhere, which is great. I think that's phenomenal. I think he should sneak his logo in somewhere, right? Somewhere it'd be cool to have. Oh, I almost missed it. I was like, why wouldn't he have put that on the pivot? He did. Sneaky mustache, sneaky getting in there. Okay, so anyways, We have the filler tab right here, which is fine. That's great. That's hardly noticeable. So I think you did a good job with that. Extended lengthy backspacer. How's the balance on this? Little bit butt heavy, but because of where he put the index finger, the primary index finger position, feels pretty balanced in the standard grip. So that's good. No lanyard hole, but who cares? There's a way to attach it to the pocket clip anyway. The clip is medium tension, so even though it's sitting right on top of the texturing, I didn't really have a problem with it at all. You have the stop pin located in its traditional position. No shouldering, but that's okay. It doesn't need it. No blade play up, down, left to right. No lock stick. I'll show you the lockup percentage there. Looks like it's probably locking up at about 30, maybe 35%, which is good. No blade play up, down, left to right. No lock stick. No pivot lash. Extremely smooth and consistent. A nice click in the closed position. And boy, is he showing off with that centering there. Look at that. That's cool. I mean, like highlighted in here, you could say, oh, it's slightly off to the left. But I would say anywhere within that backspacer there, you could consider it absolutely perfect centering. That thing really highlights it there. Like that. No detent lash. Really cool. This is a great knife. This was destined to be a good move to create a version of it that costs less. I think people are going to go, they only came with a little bit less than the Bel Air. I mean, okay. The Bel Air is an in-house Kershaw design. It is made in the USA, right? They don't have to pay anybody else. In this case, this particular version is also, a BladeBinge variation. So it's BladeBinge and Tristate. The standard version's by Tristate. You have to pay the OEM and Tristate. So this version is BladeBinge, OEM, and Tristate, where Kershaw is just Kershaw, right? That's also MagnaCut, and what's the base version? Is it micarta? Where these are titanium and 154cm. I think the difference in cost between 154cm and MagnaCut is smaller than the difference in cost between steel liners and micarta and titanium scales. Though you could make that argument for the G10 versions. Again, I would go back to there are more parties involved with that knife, and the cost is just going to be associated with it. As is the case with all things, if it's too much for you, it's perfectly fine. You can buy whatever you find to be the more optimal choice. But as far as something created by a content creator here in our community that is absolutely geared towards utility and fidget factor and all of that cool stuff, and it's made in a super high quality way, I really don't have a problem with the price tag. I think the titanium variation of this knife is the better deal. But if you want to save a little bit of money and you want to make it, maybe a lighter knife, there's nothing wrong with the G10 versions either. Yes, there are knives out there that are combinations of materials that are considered better, maybe even manufactured in the United States that are, maybe you would perceive them as a better value. But all things considered, I'm not upset with the price tag here at all. I think Tristate is legitimately trying to cater to as many people as possible. And I don't think that he's making a killing on these. I think he's just doing something fun. He's making a knife for the same reason that I did, because he has the ability to do it and he wants to share his design with the community and not charge an arm and a leg for it. So I think this is good. If you picked this knife up, I bet you really like it. If you didn't, and especially if they're all sold out, I am almost certain that we will see more of these in the future. So keep your eyes out. In the meantime, I'll have links for these down in the description so that you can check and see if they're available. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.